lovely humans, my name is Marvin, and today I'm gonna play every Nintendo Classic game from 2020 and rank them all from worst to best. And yeah, there's not nearly as many games as there was the previous year, and if you don't remember what happened in 2020 specifically, good, I don't want to either. But with that, on top of no new games being added to the NSO service, means that we only have 22 games to look at, though it will take a bit longer to go through all of these than I originally thought, because yes, I did mention this in my last video, but I'm gonna be making the executive decision to double the length I can play these games in both my main series, mainly so I can have more time with them to make a slightly more nuanced ranking. But even with this extension, this shouldn't take as long as my last video in this series, thank dog. Before we start, like, subscribe, join the Discord, all that jazz, and thanks again to Plebus for helping me with some multiplayer stuff, Twitch link down below. And that's out of the way, let's get into the ranking so I can continue to justify the $50 I spent, which is now $100, oh dog. Starting us off with the D tiers, we have 22, The Mystery of Atlantis. The real mystery is why is this game so bad? This game has you go through multiple rooms, labyrinth style, to see how far you can go while collecting treasure along the way, all with nothing but your jumping skills and an infinite satchel full of dynamite. I mean, bombs? Damn, not even 2 minutes in, I've already made a bomb joke. That's gotta be a record. Now, this can be a fun concept, but the thing is, there isn't like an infinite number of these things, only a measly 100. And while there is a decent variety in the types of rooms, you'll still be seeing a couple of repeats. There's rooms with ice physics, rooms covered in darkness, rooms that test your platforming, rooms where you just run to the right for a couple seconds, rooms that'll give you a seizure, and rooms that are completely dark with ice physics, and pits that'll either kill you or send you back several rooms. Good luck getting past that. Oh, and did I mention that the jumping in this game is terrible? Cause it is. It's Castlevania-style jump arcs, but somehow less consistent. Overall, this is seriously a mystery that honestly should have stayed at the bottom of the ocean. 21, The Peacekeepers. What's with the discount A team on the cover? More like the Nay team. Got him. Basically, it's just Brawl Bros again. Actually, no, these are literally from the same series. This is the third game of a trilogy, all of which changed names, stories, and characters when localized. No idea what the goal was there, but anyway, dog damn I don't remember Brawl Bros being this bad. It mainly comes down to the fucking enemies. Their hitboxes are whack compared to yours. If you try and attack them, they can interrupt your combo and pile drive you, and the bosses are stupidly tanky and spam attacks. Pretty much the only way I could beat any of them was by cheesing the hell out of them. Does this look fun to you? Oh, but none of these work on the final boss, cause that would just be unfair. I will commend them for doing a multiple paths kind of thing, which can lead to some unique levels. That's neat. They converge pretty quickly and you just end up at the same destination eventually anyway. Didn't know they beat Telltale to the punch the whole 2 decades in advance. 20, Nightshade, aka Nightshade Part 1, The Claws of Sectec. I definitely butchered that, just like how they butchered this game because there was never a part 2. This is a mix between a point-and-click adventure game and a fighting game, and obviously, neither parts are any good. For the former, you have way too many options to choose from, and it has the usual trope from back in the day of everything just being convoluted and obtuse. As for the latter, it's not all that fleshed out either, and fighting enemies can be a pain in the ass. There's also the fact that you can only heal so many times. There's a good chance you could be softlocked if you just spend all your money like I almost did on nuts of all things. Dying puts you in these convoluted death traps that while you can't escape from, it's just as convoluted as everything else usually, and if you fail, back to the title screen. Yep, no saving in this game, so you basically have to do everything in a perfect run. No thanks, Nightshade Part 1, The Claws of Sectec. Damn, can't believe I went through this whole entry without referencing John. Oh, dog damn it, I just did. That didn't take long, cause we're already in the C tier, which consists of 19, The Immortal. I already knew what I was getting into cause PBG made a video about this game. Wait, how many years ago? But even then, I was still blown away by how much this title is just fake advertising. Literally everything wants to kill you. Literally everything. The walls, the floor, the trolls, the goblins, the bats, even most of your items. Like this innocent bottle of water that'll heal you. Well, if you drink it instead of giving it to the Goblin King this one time, you'll eventually get skewered. It seriously feels like you can't take a single step without losing a hit point or even your life. So clearly I should loathe this game. So why don't I? Well, first up, the combat. Well, simple, it can be satisfying since it's all reaction-based, and your stamina makes it so you gotta take breaks to dodge slashes. It's pretty fun. And second up, the game isn't even that long, so it can be fun to speed through it once you know what to do. But even then, that's only when you know what to do, because before you get to that point, you still need to do a whole lot of trial and error. Also, it's easy to soft lock yourself out of the final boss. Love that. 18, Tough Enough. The guy in the box looks like Five Below All Might. I'm not the only one that sees that, right? Well, anyway, this is a fighting game, and since it's an early fighting game, that means there's only 2 real modes to play with. The Versus mode, either against a computer or with a friend, and a Story mode, though saying it has a story is an overstatement. There's no cutscenes other than the one at the title screen. You just fight 10 guys one after the other and then it ends. And yeah, I beat this game on easy mode, but even on easy, the CPUs don't hold back, especially later in the Story mode. Doesn't help that I have no idea how to do any special moves, but there is the time old trick of getting them stuck in a corner and spamming a single attack. And after you beat an opponent, you'll get an action replay, meaning you can watch the cheese in glorious slow motion. But other than that, yeah, this is just a super average fighting game from the 90s. It certainly wasn't gonna give Street Fighter 2 or any of its 500 updates a run for its money. 17. Amazing Hebreke. Fun fact, Hebreke is apparently Southern Sotho for Hebrew. But we're not here to learn Hebrew, we're here to beat the stuffing out of cute animal characters. Cause this is a party fighting game where you just have to knock out the other opponents to win a round. Do this 3 times and you win overall. There's also a story mode which actually doesn't have much of a story except for the end, which I can't read. However, this game does have some issues. The fighting is really simplistic because you only have 2 attack buttons. You can't do button inputs for extra moves, but you only get 2 extra. When 4 players on screen, the frame rate likes to chug along, and the story mode is surprisingly easy for an early fighting game. Like, I beat with all 8 characters in 4 hours, so I should know. But overall, the game is fine. I did have some fun. But just play Smash or something, it's on the same console. Extra fun fact, in actual Japanese, Hebreke actually means oh. 16. Rygar. In this action platformer with occasional overhead gameplay and some minor Metroidvania elements, you play as the titular character who is basically Dollar Store Captain America, and he wants to defeat the great evil and restore peace to the land, yada yada yada. I don't really care for this one. I don't know, it's kinda generic. Plus you basically have to grind in this game, you know, like Hit Icarus. I see you're copying Nintendo's homework. Specifically, you have to grind to level up and get more hit points, cause losing all of them will basically put you back at the starting area, so you're gonna need a lot of them. You can use mind powers to heal, but you need a lot and also have to grind this. Great! And finally, I did mention some Metroidvania elements, and by that I mean that the game is a bit of a maze, so good luck finding your way around. Also, there's only like 2 traversal items you can get, and that's it. There's really not that much going on here. Also, the music sounds like if the Christopher Reeve Superman movie was composed entirely in brown note. Super Valis 4. Well, looky here. It's a game with a Western as hell box art, but inside it's anime! Anime! Quick, get to do it! Well, anyway, this is an action side-scroller where you have to get to the end of the stage to fight the boss, collecting power-ups along the way. But you gotta be quick, cause the longer you take, the more health the boss will have. That's actually a cool idea, but man, this game will do whatever it takes to make sure you don't get to the end. You're supposed to go fast, but that's basically suicide since you'll keep running into enemies. And even then, the levels have moments where it's almost impossible not to get hit. Also, the bosses are kind of all over the place in terms of difficulty. Some are kind of a cakewalk once you figure out their patterns, and others start with the hardest phases right out of the gate, cause that's fair. And finally, the game doesn't even tell you that to use your power-ups, you have to press up and Y at the same time. I don't know why they did that when the A button isn't being used, but whatever. Long story short, the Japanese probably should have kept this one. Send it back to them with a can of Axe. 14. Natsume Championship Wrestling. Basically the SNES's equivalent to pro wrestling on the NES. Though thanks to the extra 8 bits, we got more modes to play in, more buttons to pull off moves with, and more detailed character portraits, displaying fighters with faces that only a mother could love. There's also a mechanic where the game will randomly make you square off with your opponent, and you gotta press a button at the right time to slam him. Though I had no idea what the hell it was supposed to be until I looked it up. Before that, this guy was just kicking my ass. Don't ruin my face, it's already bad enough as it is. Once you do get it down though, it is a little bit mindless. Just punch him a bunch of times, slam when you can, repeat until their health is basically gone, slam them again, pin them, and hope they'll stay down. You can't even do my soon-to-be patented kicker-upper technique. And yes, I know I haven't done it yet. The patent office is currently busy right now dealing with Nintendo shenanigans. Add on only 3 modes and a championship mode that only lasts an hour, half an hour if you do a tag team, and you just have an okay wrestling game. If you have a Switch 2, just get one of the WWE 2K games. If you have a Switch 1... never mind, play this instead. Now let's get on with the B tiers, starting with 13. Shadow of the Ninja. Fun fact, both this game and Scat, the game not the fish, take place in 2029. What the hell happens in the next 3 years? Well, that aside, this is basically Five Below Ninja Gaiden. Hi! It's an action platformer where you control a ninja and fight through sci-fi environments and enemies. Though with this one, you can just use a standard katana, or a chain weapon like a Belmont, ninja stars, or bombs. And there's a pretty neat mechanic of hanging off of ceilings and climbing on top of them. Definitely feels very ninja-y. Oh wait, I forgot something else that this game copies from Ninja Gaiden. Hey! It's got some bullshit in it. Not at the start, that's not too bad, but the difficulty ramps up pretty quickly. It feels like it's almost impossible not to get hit. Also, only 5 continues before you're sent back to the beginning. There is a level select cheat though, so no problems there. All in all, I can see why Ninja Gaiden went on to be a major franchise with a spin-off fighting game franchise, while this one stayed in the 90s covered in SCAT. 12. Operation Logic Bomb. For this one, we got a top-down shooter where you gotta go into an abandoned factory to take down aliens from another dimension, as you do. This can be kind of fun, especially since you'll be getting new weapons as you go along, like a flamethrower and tracking missiles, which are kind of broken, but who cares? But the reason why this is just a low B tier is because there really isn't a whole lot to this one. Gameplay doesn't really evolve much, there's not too many different enemies to fight, everything looks the same, and the game can be beaten in just over an hour. It's also not too hard once you realize there's a straight button. Better use that or get your cyborg ass beaten. Though considering you have a cyborg ass, you'll probably be fine. But yeah, not much else to say. It's good. Moving on. 11. The ignition factor. Oh yeah, I'm gonna kick these fires' asses. They don't even know what hit them. That is what firefighting's about, isn't it? Nah, in all seriousness, this is a fun one about firefighting. Simply put, go to a place, get brief about it, go in and fight fires. Duh. Actually, the goal is to save a certain number of civilians within a time limit. Putting out the fires is optional since your team will just do it for you afterwards. So in actuality, it's much more strategic which fires you should put out. And there's also special fires you need special hoses for. And while this can be a fun challenge, it's far from perfect. The game is unfortunately short. I really wish there was more meat to this one. The running controls are pretty clunky, so you'll probably run into fires a lot, and there's barely any music while you're playing. I know firefighting is serious business, but clearly they weren't going for a super serious tone with the fourth wall breaking dialogue, so they could have had something epic sounding or whatever. And finally, not really negative, but you don't need to rescue everyone and level the pass. Doing so will just increase your score. So it's kind of morbid that you just rescue a few people and you're like, well, I've done enough. Have fun burning alive, everyone. And already we're at the A tiers, starting with 10. Eliminator Boat Duel. Honestly, I was kind of having war flashbacks to Cobra Triangle with this one before realizing that this isn't a combat game, it's a racing game. A BOAT racing game. In this one, you have a set of opponents that you have to beat 3 times, with every time you win getting you money that you can use to freely upgrade your BOAT or repair it if you end up paying a lot of shit, including radioactive barrels. Don't splash any water on me or I might grow a third elbow. You also have 2 different ways of racing, overhead and behind the back, which play differently. But man, behind the back can be a pain in the ass. Don't clip that, cause can fly at you so damn fast. Also, no matter what difficulty you choose, the champion at the end can be really tough if you haven't upgraded everything, and you're pretty much expected to grab every nitrous power-up you find and barely hit anything, which good luck with that. But damn, I'm pleasantly surprised. This is the best BOAT-related game I've played on the NES service. Out of 2, but when your competition is Cobra Triangle, I'm gonna give the win to EBD. 9. Wild Guns. This town ain't big enough for the 2 of us. No, seriously, it's microscopic. It can barely fit one of us. Well, putting that aside, this is a Western-themed shooting gallery. But not just any Western-themed shooting gallery. It's a Western-themed shooting gallery that also happens to have robots. Cause of course they managed to figure it out somehow, and not indoor plumbing. But yeah, you get to shoot a bunch of bandits and robots as one of 2 badass protagonists. There's power-ups you get like grenade launchers. There's also a literal shooting gallery for the bonus stages, and a special versus mode. It's all a rootin' tune fun time. If there were any criticisms that I had, it's that aiming and running at the same time can take some getting used to, and this game is painfully short. But of course, since this is emulating an arcade game, it's a bit tough as you lose a life as you get hit once. But hey, if I want to play more, they did remaster this game with new levels, which is bound to be a hog kill in time. Okay, look, I found that phrase online, it's the best I could find. 8. SCAT. Ew, I don't want to see that! What? It's an acronym for Specialized Cybernetic Assault Team? Well, I still don't like it, but this unfortunate name is attached to a pretty fun shoot 'em up. Putting this many so high up the tier list makes me think these are normally pretty good. And it's got 2 things going for it that make it stand out. Firstly, it's the name of a fetish, and secondly, you got these orbs that orbit around you and fire at enemies, and pressing A can freeze them in place if need be. Which I normally don't need these bees, so get them out of here! Really, my only gripe is that you can beat it in under an hour if you know what you're doing, considering this thing is only 5 levels long, but they're fun levels anyway. I'm guessing most of the cartridge space is for the opening cutscenes and some synthesized dialogue. Was it worth it?
You must destroy them. The Earth is counting on you. Good luck.
Probably not, but still cool. Also, dying makes you reset the whole level. That's probably one thing I really don't like about these, especially when the levels are pretty lengthy. 7. Poppin' Twinbee. It's another Twinbee, but this time with double the bits. So now you can more clearly see just how cute everything is. And also, I can take the time to explain some stuff that was in the last game that was also in this one because I just didn't for some reason even though I had the time to do so. For starters, you can shoot clouds to have bells come out. They normally give you points, but juggling them enough will turn them into power-ups like new shot types, a shield, screen nukes, and a little buddy that'll join you on your rampage through the land. Secondly, you have a separate button you can use to drop
Bombs?
on enemies below you, which you'll have to do as that's the only way to get more health. Yeah, health. You don't die in one hit in this one like in the original. Thank dog for that. You'll probably still die though, cause it's a shoot 'em up, and dying means using a continue and restarting the whole level. Thankfully, there are multiple difficulties to choose from, ranging from 1 to 7. 1 means barely anything fires back, and 7 I imagine being Toho levels of projectiles to dodge. I wouldn't know though, cause I died in the first level, and apparently there's a secret 8th difficulty? No thanks. Being in a mental hospital will probably be more fun. 6. Mario Super Picross. This one definitely surprised me because I was always too intimidated by Picross to really give it a shot. Also because, you know, I'm stupid. But now that I've actually tried to play it, I get it. My third eye has opened! I have achieved enlightenment! No, in all seriousness, I got so addicted to Picross that one day I forgot to eat and shower. It was a problem. But there's just so much in here. By my count, there's 300 of these damn things. There's so many, even with the new 20-hour limit, I still managed to only do around half of them. This game's meaty as hell. Really, the main reasons why this isn't an S tier is, 1, this game does eventually get super complex. Like, as far as I got, I found a puzzle with a 40 by 50 grid. That's 2,000 blocks. And the difficulty of these layer puzzles really like to remind me that I'm stupid. And 2, I normally don't care for puzzle games, cause, again, I'm stupid. But I think I'll start making an exception for Picross. Hell, I even found this nonogram mobile game themed around cats. Who needs meth to get addicted when you have nonograms? 5. Panel to Pawn. You're probably looking at this and going, hold on, this is just Tetris Attack. And yeah, it is. That was a reskin of this, because I guess 90s kids wouldn't want to play a game with fairies in it. It is pretty cool that we got this version on the service though, even if it means I can't read any of it. But anyways, this is a tile matching game with a twist. You can only switch the places of 2 blocks horizontally, and while that may sound simple, it's surprisingly deep and fun with all the different strategies you can pull off. And on top of that, some catchy music, fun visuals, several different modes to try, and of course, multiplayer battles, because every good puzzle game needs one of those, and you got an absolute classic. In fact, I think I like this one slightly more than Picross, mainly because it doesn't make me feel as stupid. It can still get really hard in the single player modes, but I much prefer this psychological damage. 4. Donkey Kong Country. Whoa, guys, check out these sick 3D graphics. You can't get these on whatever crap Sega's got. Genesis? More like Okay, now that I'm done with my impression of the nerds that ate this up in the 90s, yeah, this was pretty cool tech for the time, even if it aged as well as the lettuce I left rotting in the fridge. But it's not all style with no substance. It was a completely fresh, soft rebuild of the Donkey Kong series, introducing us to some new characters, like King K. Rool, Cranky Kong, Furry Awakening Kong, and unfortunate name in hindsight Kong. And it's all themed around a pretty fun 2D platformer, with a bunch of levels that all have their own gimmicks and secret areas to find, and find all these gets you the legendary 101%. But good luck getting there. Yeah, there are a few reasons why this is only just an A tier. For example, this game can be pretty tough, meaning you'll be seeing the game over screen a lot. And you can't save at Candy Kong, where you'll reset when your game over, but in some worlds she's all the way at the very end, meaning you gotta be a couple levels without GOing just to save. And you can't easily go back to a previous world to save. You have to go to Funky Kong for that, and sometimes he's also at the end of a world. But really, those annoyances can't take away from the fact that this is a very polished platformer, one that could be polished even further via sequels. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, poke, poke, stab, stab. 3. Super Mario All-Stars. And now that I've cast a line, let's see if anyone takes the bait. But seriously, you might be wondering why this isn't an S tier. I mean, it's 3 of the greatest NES platformers remade in glorious 16 bits, and with a save feature for each game. A save feature! There's also a fun battle mode in Soup 3 based on Mario Brothers. Really, this should definitely be an S tier. What's that? There's actually 4 games? What's the 4th one? The Lost Levels? Actually, it's not as bad as before, because while this game still does have some bullshit levels, the save feature saves the level you're on rather than just the world like the others, meaning you could just throw yourself at the level over and over again until you get it, risk-free. And you can play the secret A to D worlds just by beating the game once as opposed to 8 times. Thank you! Still, it's the Lost Levels. It should have stayed lost. Also, none of the games have had their physics updated, including the first game and Lost Levels, where they really haven't aged well. Like, I only gave the first game an A because of its historical value. Without it, it's like a low B at best. But hey, Soup 2 and 3 are still here, and the improvements, on top of being 4 games in 1, definitely still make this a must-play. 2. Donkey Kong Country 3 Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. In theory, this should probably be my favorite. I mean, it's got just about everything from the previous game, plus some extra collectibles, a cool explorable overworld with its own secrets, the return of Dixie Kong with her OP hover, and it's not as ball-bustingly hard as the first 2. I'll just add up to this being my favorite in the series. So why isn't it? Well, firstly, I can't really explain it, but this game just doesn't have the sauce of the first two. The music isn't as catchy, the enemies feel mostly generic for the series, and some little gimmicks feel a bit uninspired. Also, holy shit, there's a huge difficulty spike towards the end, both with the final main world and the secret lost world with the final boss that could suck my banana. Also, in order to get 103% in this game, you gotta find hidden caves to nab some banana boids! And man, some of these are kinda too well hidden. But other than that, I fail to see why most people don't bring this one up when discussing the series. It's still a great platformer, and a good end to the series on the SNES. And finally, surprisingly, we got the only S tier of the year. And if you've been paying attention, you probably already know what it is, so let's just get into it. 1. Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Kong Quest. Yes, it's Diddy's Kong Quest, not Diddy Kong's Quest like I used to think. Not that it matters, cause holy shit, this is an awesome sequel. We got the return of, I'm still uncomfortable saying his real name kinda, Kong, and the introduction of Dixie Kong, the better character of the two due to her hover, so why would you bother choosing the title character? Several other new Kongs, a bunch more levels with new gimmicks like new animal buddies, more secret areas, and new collectibles, in which getting all of them gets you 102%. And there's even a secret world with some of the higher levels in the game. But the normal levels will still kick your ass. Yeah, this game can still be pretty tough, in some ways even tougher than the original, so be prepared to see the game over screen a lot. Unless you enter the 50 lives cheat at the start and then farm so many lives in the first level of World 3 that you actually go over the limit of 99 like I did. But man, what a great game. I'm really glad I was able to conquer it. Also, it's cool when they do it, but when I do it... And that's every Nintendo Classics game from 2020 ranked, with an average score of 2.95, which is actually better than I thought it would be. Going in, I thought the only highlights would be the Donkey Kong Country games, Mario All-Stars, and maybe Panel to Pond. But there were definitely a couple of hidden gems in there that I definitely didn't expect to enjoy. Even then though, we are starting to see Nintendo pull some really obscure games out of their ass to put on the service. Like, literally if I wasn't doing this series, I would have never touched Tough Enough. It looks like it'd give me rabies. But hey, nice to have a bit of a lighter year if it meant I'd get this video out sooner, and at least next year we get some new consoles, plural. That'll be fun, and I hope you're all looking forward to that. As per usual, like, subscribe, join the Discord, all of that. And until next time, peace!